is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're actually going to do a first video on Sam Sulek's little brother. And he's starting his day one of his 200, which is basically his road to 200 pounds. We're going to go through it and coach things up and just get into it. So let's start. I'm gonna act like I'm with him right now. Now I'm gonna tell you the things that I would tell him, because if I was at this school as a strength and conditioning coach, which I have been before, this is what I would literally say to that person, you know, to Mark right now. So let's go watch this.
Kind of just want to warm up before.
I'm trying to look at his bench,
So
at the
try
rack.
to get the triceps warm, get your shoulders warm, and that'll be that.
So it's not a bad warm up, but you know, when it comes to warming up, there's nothing better than warming up bench than just going through the actual bench motion, your full range of motion. You know, it's good that he's warming his shoulder up. This is good. You know,
so starting up on the incline bench, I've already warmed up.
Now I was gonna give him some flack. I was gonna give him some flack about the bench because he's outside of the rack, but that just looks like that's how these are. Not a fan because he's in by himself. He doesn't have safety racks there, and guess what? If he hurts himself, he can't golf, right? It's the same thing as if a coach would be like, if you get injured, you're no good to anybody. It's as harsh as that damn sounds, but if he gets hurt, if he injures himself because he doesn't have the rack, he cannot golf. Now it's just getting warmed up, and I get that, but again, because he's doing hypertrophy reps in the end when it comes to this, I would like to see. I love the full range. That's 100% love the full range, but I'd like to see him really slow those reps down. Again, when it comes to performance, especially when it comes to golf, being explosive through the chest isn't gonna benefit him in his game at all. If anything, I would love him to slow it down. Number one, because he's gonna get overall better stretching muscle recruitment when it comes to the lengthened part of that lift, but also it's gonna, you know, keep him out of harm's way as much as possible. I'm not saying that if your form is good and your tempo is good, that you're never gonna get injured, but it will damn well reduce the risk of you getting injured. And when you're doing faster reps like this, it's easier to tweak something in your shoulder, and he's doing incline as well too. So he's higher up into that shoulder range. And again, when it comes to golfing, he's got to be fluent through his hips. He's got to be able to be, you know, have good range of motion and mobility and flexibility through his shoulder, his torso, right? So being quick with the reps there, for me, I would say slow it down a little bit. Let's keep him going. Hey guys, check it out. Only 40% of you are subscribed to the channel. So help the channel out. Hit that post notification button so the next time I drop a video, you'll be the first ones to get it. Back to the show.
Just hitting all the warm-up reps, but this is already pretty funny looking back at that one clip. I don't know, it's just funny seeing myself on camera still. But as much as I'm gonna get comfortable with it, I'm sure you guys will get comfortable with it too.
I love these guys. Motherfuckers are good, man. I love it, man. So what's good too is like when we're looking at like
the rungs, it kind of doesn't let me slide it back and forth, and I always kind of want to like roll it forward before I start. But
and I totally get this. So he's had these type of at my school. Certain racks are just different. They have like the racks are basically they're on an angle, so he's got to kind of go up a little more and just getting used to it. And it's good that he's aware of that. But again, when it comes to like filming yourself, this is like film yourself to see what you're doing, right? To give yourself a reference. And I like how he's going and reviewing himself, not just to watch himself like, hey, am I looking good for YouTube? He's watching himself and critiquing himself at the same time. So it's cool. Let's keep going.
I guess not today.
There, slower rep. I like that. I like that. Control. Great control. Great control. Feet on the ground. Good control. Great warm up. We'll move up a bit more. I think those are 10s.
You know.
Those are 10s.
We'll see.
So go up by 10-pound warm-up's not bad at all, right? He's going up by 20 pounds, right? Each side, 10 pounds each side. One. Good. I like the tempo. Still good. I like the tempo. I like it. I like him to keep his head back a bit more. Right. I love to give the cue. The cue I like to give guys is always like pretend that you're pushing yourself into the floor. right? Pretend the weight's not even coming off your chest. You're pushing yourself down, right? And I'll give you a little more, I would say, feel of the contraction on the down, instead of like, and that's why I like keeping the head back as well too. So you feel like you're one, like when your body from floor to core, your torso, you know, and your head just being on the bench and then pressing everything back. That's the way I like to kind of give that IQ. When you're pressing, that will give you that much more, like, I would say, power. It makes me feel more power and leverage when I'm lifting. When my head comes off and does this, I feel like it almost takes away from stability, because my head's kind of rocking like this. I'm not a fan of that at all. Do what you gotta do, but take it from me, like, put your head back, keep your head back on there, shoulders back, head back, you know, toes, feet on the floor, butt in the back of the bench, shoulder blades in the back of the bench, head in the back of the bench, and we're just pushing ourselves down. Let's time the set, actually. Let's have some fun and time the set and see how long it takes him to do this set. Twenty-one seconds for that set. It's a good length set for only around like 6-ish reps. Now, couple things. Let's just go back a bit. What I do like and what I don't like about this. Number one, his setup is, you know, he's going back right away. Guys, you will, I'm going to say this 1,000 times, from floor to core. Do not, like, how you start, you look at his legs that are right there, right? His legs where they are in a great spot. Plant those mugs, like, plant them there. That is your leverage. Push in. I want you to just right now, wherever you're sitting, I want you to plant your feet and just push into your heels. Like, keep your feet toes on the ground. Don't push through your heels, but like, make sure your entire foot's on the floor. Push into heels, and you'll feel your glutes tighten up a bit, right? Right. I want you to do the same thing. Right, pushing the ground. I want you to feel your glutes and to keep that engaged, right? That's what you want to feel while your torso and your head is on the back of that bench when you're pushing, right? Now, I want you, while we're still talking, we're still doing that with your feet, I want you to pull one foot off the ground. It makes your body tip. You just tipped, right? So watch this set again really quick, right? He would have got those last reps had he have had those. I promise you, if he had his feet on the ground planted, right? He's doing 1, right? 2. Tempo is good. 3. 1,001. Watch it. 1,001. Right? 4. Right? Now his feet right there. We want to have them planted. Plant. Watch. 5. Now watch his foot. Just his feet further away from his body. Now he switches his feet up. He lost that connection with the floor, and that's why we're now rolling the weight off his chest. Right? Now, I would give him flack, but for some reason in this gym they don't have safety racks, so I can't shit on my man for doing what he had to do, right? Which is gonna lead me to say even more if I was with him right now. I'd be like, hey, Mark, I'd spot him obviously, but since we don't have safety racks, let's just back the weight up a bit, right? So he's done that so far. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Oh my goodness. Let's just say that was a learning curve. Because 1, I could have maybe warmed up a little bit better. And 2, I could have got a spotter. Because that shit was fucking annoying. To roll that off, oh Jesus. But I could have used the Sam method and just fucking threw it off. But I'm not experienced with that yet, so.
Oh, so I mean, I don't recommend doing the Sam thing and throwing it off. Again, because he's in this situation, he had to, and now he's very aware that, hey, there's some people out there that could have helped me out with a spot, and he just didn't have the spot at the time. I'm cool with that. There's sometimes in a situation where you have to do that, but if you can, and like he's saying, it's a learning curve. This guy, I think there's a new breed of young cats that are coming out, right? These are young ass men. These aren't kids, right? These are young men. And the maturity I'm seeing from Mark, from Sam, I had Connor Sanon on my channel. Like, it's way more mature than I was. I was a kid. I 100% was a kid at their age. 100%. 100%. So I applaud his awareness and his accountability. That is massive to see. Now again, guys, take away. Keep your feet on the fucking floor.
05. 4, 5. That's not that bad for me, but whatever. Not thrilled. But now you're gonna drop the weight back down, try and bust out some more.
Is that a 35?
Before we move on.
Plant those feet. Put them back a little bit more, right? Keep his feet on the floor. Good breathing. 1. Now we're going a little faster. 2. 3. Take control of it. 4. Control a little more. A little more control. I like that. 5. I'm counting my hands like this. Second all the time. Here we go. 6. Good. Good. And those racks suck. That's not his fault. Good, 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 good. 7. Good set. 1 more. You got easy. 1 more. You got it for sure. Push up. Push. Drive. Great. And the entire time, yes, he reduced the weight, but he got 7 reps. Here's some tells for you guys to understand. Here's some things of self-awareness for you. When you notice that the speed of the eccentric, doesn't matter how fast, or it doesn't matter the speed, if you're starting off at 2 second negative, 3 second negative, whatever, or 1 second negative. In this case, he had a consistent 1 second negative. If you find that you're not able to consistently keep that tempo with your negative, you are not going to be able to get that positive up, that concentric. I for a fact knew that he was going to get those reps, sheerly just based on the fact that he can control the negative. Not only just that, but his feet were planted on the floor, so he had way more stability and leverage. Right? Again, do what I just said right now. If you're sitting on a couch, you're sitting on a chair, whatever you're doing, I want you to push both feet into the ground, and you're gonna feel your glutes, both your glutes get tight. You feeling it right now? Yes. Now, take 1 foot off the ground. Your hip just dropped, right? Now think about doing that when you have weight. What do you think is gonna happen here, right? Think about this. You have more than 4 points of contact, but when it comes to what's grounded in a sense, we have both of our feet grounded. We have this almost like this tripod thing where, we have our feet grounded, then we have our butt on the bench. So we have this, I wouldn't say tripod, but whatever, right? And then from the torso, going from the torso all up to the arms holding weight that can possibly do this. If we take 1 foot off the ground, one part of my body is going to drop, right? So we want to keep those feet on the ground, push into the floor, feel your glutes active, your core engaged, pushing through the weight and keeping that stability and leverage the entire time. And that's why that set went up. That's a great set. Way to finish. Now we got another set here. Now when it comes to how much should he do to work hard and whatnot, for me, this set, he doesn't need this set. I find that he's done enough right now when it comes to this. He can definitely move on to the next exercise, right? Because now at this point, now we're kind of like, now we're getting to his big brother lifting right there, and I don't think this is needed. For me, this is a wasted set. We're working those long length partials, but even that, if we're gonna do long length partials, guys, if you're gonna do a long length partial, then let's get all the way down. If he gets all the way down to here and we're doing that range, that's fine. Okay, cool. If you want to do that, that's fine. That has intention. I get that. But this set for me is I would have been like, there's no point of this set. Everything was good up until this point. No jack on him. He's just trying to work hard to get it. But again, that set's not needed.
But we're gonna do 3-4 sets of this, and then we'll jump over, finish with some cable flies, and then call it for chest.
I like him. Cause we got the big brother, we got the younger brother vibes going here. I like my man here. That right now, if you're looking at his volume with his incline barbell press, right? He did at least 4 hard sets, okay? Now he's going on to do machine flat press, right? 3 sets. That's 7 sets, and he's gonna do some flies, probably another 3 sets right there. There's your quota. He's gonna hit his quota. He's got a good plan to go in here. You only need 3 exercises for chest. You really only do. Let me tell you why. The chest does one major thing. It does shoulder adduction, right? It does this. It brings your chest, brings this bone in, right? Your chest brings the humerus in here. That's what it does. It brings it in here like this. It brings it in here like this while doing this. And it brings it in like this while doing this as well too. and then it does some internal rotation, right? So when it comes to like how many exercises you need to do for chest, really 1 to 3. You could actually only do one movement and be completely fine, right? I guess you want to work some different, angles or whatever. I get it. But, this is perfect. This is a perfect amount of volume, the perfect amount of exercises for chest. 3 exercises, nothing fancy. You got an incline, you got a flat, and you got some flies.
And then call it for chest.
Now, again, when it comes to this, guys,
creaky. Wow.
stay grounded. 4, 5. Now I'm gonna show you some things. Now this machine, is really tough when I'm sure there's a lot of these machines in different gyms, so you guys can watch this cue right now. Now I like where his feet are. I don't mind. I would rather have him back a little further. They can be close, they can be shoulder width apart, whatever. But I would rather have him be back a little bit, almost like shoulder width apart, a little bit in back under his hips a bit. Plant on the floor. It gives you more leverage. Again, remember pressing on the floor now. This machine's really cool because it gives you that feeling like you are sitting, again, when I say pretend you're pushing yourself into the floor, now pretend you're pushing yourself in the back of the wall, right? You're on a wall and you're gonna push yourself in the back of the wall. And when I do that, you see how my head goes back too. Naturally, I'm doing this. When you're moving your head like this, it's not changing. What we want to do when we're benching, especially here, you can see how his shoulders are riding up, right? It's sometimes tougher to keep your shoulders depressed when you're on machines like this because you're here and naturally it's gonna kind of press you this way regardless. So you have to do a lot more to push your shoulders down and keep them down when you're pressing, being completely like this. Now, rock head back and forth does make you naturally have your shoulders rising up, and that's why I don't like the whole rocking back thing. Keep your head in the back of that bench, keep your shoulders down, right? And depressed, and keep pushing like this. Keep it back. Get a better range, let it come stretchy on the way back, and push, right? So that's the only thing I would say with this. Now, the effort I get it, I like the effort. Again, I gotta say this for you guys who are watching this that are golfers or athletes that need your shoulders, right? Sometimes doing some long length partials are good to do in a bodybuilding standpoint, right? If we're trying to build muscle, long length partials are phenomenal. They're a great tool. But when you're an athlete and you gotta use your arms to throw, to catch, to punch, to swing, you don't want to have this, amount of weight sitting back here while you're getting more exhausted and then just trying to rep it out like this, because eventually you can tweak something again. Like, he's a golfer. So you guys are out there watching the long length partials. If you're going to do them, treat them as if you're doing a normal regular set with good tempo and good range of motion. Meaning, and I did a video on this already with shoulders. Meaning when you're down here, it's up, and then it's controlling it down, stretch up. Controlling it down, stretch up. Controlling it down, stretch up. It's not and just jerking and punching, because you're in a very vulnerable position when you're doing it that fast at the end of your set when you're already tired. When I put in the long length partials, I did them as a rest pause. So I'd much rather have him take that break, 10 to 15 seconds, let his body cool again, get under the handles, get himself positioned, drive it out, come down, full range, squeeze here, out, come down again, out, come down again, out, like this. I'd rather that than the fast jerking movement, which again can put him at risk of getting injured.
After looking over a few of these clips, I was feeling a little bit self-conscious about, kind of talking to the camera and everything. And I went back and I watched Sam's bulk day one, and he wasn't as fluent as he is now. So I'm only thinking, only from now and doing this over and over again like he has, you'll get better. Just like, anything else that you'll do. But
these calf, man, I'm just blown away. I'm genuinely blown away by the maturity of these guys and self-awareness. Again, guys, before we start this, guys, just get our feet where they are. Again, same rules apply in all machines. I resonate with these guys a lot, man. These guys are stand-up. Love them. You guys watch them. Learn some shit from them. You know. And the cool thing is you're learning through their process of learning, which is awesome. Again, guys, let's keep both feet on the ground. Right? Keep the head up, shoulders depressed, floor to core. You'll be able to lift that much more efficiently, with more leverage and stability, right? Love his reps here, right? Nice and controlled. Now we're here. That's, you know, those little reps for me, not needed. I would rather have him do that, finish off with some good full range of motion, as always.
Down just one more.
Let's see how he sets this thing up. Let's see the awareness on this.
But I'm really just trying to burn the hell out of these and just finish with a big squeeze.
All right, so let's say, okay, right away, I like it. So number one, what I'm going to say, guys, when we're doing cables, right, you want to make sure that the hands, like the forearms here, are on the same line as the cables, which they are, which is great. Let's just see his range of motion. Good. Now, again, he's coming back. I like the coming back here, but you know what I'm going to say. I'd rather have him get right to here, right? Again, for when it comes to what he's doing, when it comes to him being an athlete, doing these reps is not beneficial. And it's in the long run, like, yeah, he's doing the long length partials there, which is good. But I'd rather have him get to that full range at the end, right? We're getting here, but then we're getting here, right? And to be honest, like, I'd rather have him do long length partials to here than to do this and just get to here, because that's all that's happening. He's getting a long length partial and then he's pulling his arms in this way, right? I'd rather have him be back here and just doing consistent long length partials than coming here and then getting this at the very end. So again, I'm gonna say this 1,000 times, guys, when you're doing cable flies, this is the one movement for chest that is gonna do exactly what your chest is supposed to do. And we wanna get this bone here 90 degrees to your chest. That's what we want, right? If my arm was cut off, this is what we'd get, right? Literally this, right? The hands are just there. They're accessories to hold the weights. That's it. You could literally put the damn, collars here if you wanted to and just pull them like this. You could, right? But the elbow here in the joint, it helps create a little bit of a little relief or less tension on your shoulders. That's why the elbow joint is there, and that's what it helps you do when you're doing flies. Is it gives you that good range of motion, so you can get that arm all the way back like this and then reduce some of that stress on your shoulder, right? But the goal is to get it from here to come here and all the way to here. Not gonna stay that long, but just remember that. Now, a couple things too, when you're lining up as well, right? It's always good to keep your hips, keep your shoulders and your hips in the same plane, right? So when you're doing this from floor to core, you want to make sure that you're doing almost like if you're going to be standing straight and kind of doing that almost like balance thing, if you're staying pretty linear or, not staggered and treating it almost like a TRX fly, that's fine. But keep your hips square with your shoulders. And if you're going to stagger it, then stagger your feet, but make sure you're almost in a very active lunge position, or like the top of a lunge. So you're square and not like he is right here, because what he's doing here is I call it tight roping. He's going to find himself really off balance. So as soon as it starts getting hard, he's going to find himself kind of rocking back and forth like this. Good. It's good. I mean, it's good. Like I said, I'd rather do the full range of motion. The long length partials here, it gets good. It makes sense, right? Again, the guys floor to core, make sure our hips are square with our shoulders. We're getting the full range. If we're not doing the full range, then we're doing a long length partial, just from there until there. That's all we need. This part at the top, if you find yourself doing partial to the top, you don't have to. I would just do the bottom range. Good shit, man. Right. So for me, guys, that's what I tell them. That's exactly what I tell them if I was there with them. I would change your lives. I know for a fact. You guys see me, guys. You guys watch me. You guys watch me train with men, women, teenagers, young adults, seniors. You know what I mean? I've trained with them, professional athletes, amateur. I've trained them all. That is my thing. I feel like I do believe I'm one of the best when it comes to being able to train people in person, cueing them, getting them to really understand and be more aware of their body. I have so much of that in me and experience that I just want to just get with some of these, these athletes and just like, hey, let me just bring you through a session and just help you out for a minute, and it'll go miles and miles for these guys. But the workout that he did today, I think, was great. There's things that he already said that I would have changed, right? A couple things like in terms of like sets that he didn't really need to do. If you're trying to get stronger at a certain thing, make sure you're doing things consistent in terms of like range of motion and weight wise, so you can actually properly progressive overload, right? So make sure if you're doing something like this and you're trying to get if you're getting your weight up, you want to add either a rep or weight each week, right? And for the most part, it's gonna be reps first and then eventually weight. And then making sure those reps are consistent, those reps are efficient, and they have some intention behind everything that you're doing. Anyway, guys, this guy's dope. I like him. I'm gonna watch his series. I hope this guy gets millions like his brother does. He's probably gonna get more because he's a golfer and he's outside of a niche and he's got both. He got both, the best of both worlds. He's got a lot of golfers out there and a lot of people who like fitness. I think they're both gonna be absolutely. Sam's already dope. This guy's gonna be just as dope. I like it. I co-sign this guy for sure. You don't need me co-signing him either way. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, you guys know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing.